My name is Mitch Bolo, here with a candidate for the upcoming KBIC election. Please tell us your name and in what district you are running.
My name is Ayres. I'm running on the Ziba side.
All right, the following is a list of questions collected from the KBOCC student body and staff, the KBIC Facebook page, the new tribal members Facebook group, KBIC Members, and off-reservation KBIC Members. The questions were reviewed and summarized by the students of the AS 232 Tribal Government class at the KBOCC and finalized by me, Mitch Bolo, here at Eagle Radio. Question number 1. What qualities do you believe a good tribal council member should have?
Start with humility, realizing that we're there to serve the people, but also to just serve the greater community in general, being respectful, being honorable in that way. Just really not elevating yourself in a kind of egotistical way, and just staying true to our beliefs and the systems already in place that we uphold. So.
All right, question number 2. What type of educational, professional, or other experiences do you have that you believe will help you if you are chosen as a tribal council member?
Yeah, so, I worked at the NRD since I was 14 years old, went through the youth program. It really helped me understand the resources and the management of the resources. Spent a lot of time with Evelyn Ravindran, learned a lot from her. And outside of work, I've been to college. I didn't graduate, but I spent some time at Michigan State University. I like to say that I am educated, even though I don't have a degree. So those are some of the experiences.
All right. Question number 3. What do you believe are the biggest issues within our tribe today, and how do you plan to address them?
Well, I've really been thinking about this. Blood quantum is a big thing, especially for me. I'm only a quarter blood, so love doesn't work like you get to pick and choose. So if I do end up having kids that with a non-tribal member, it's going to be a problem for me that my kids aren't members and they're not going to have the same rights that I grew up with and not going to have the same experience of life. And it's not something that I want for my children and for the future. So. Other than blood quantum, resource management, I think that it's improving. Obviously, we had some dark times in the early 1900s, and for resources specifically, all-time lows for some of those guys and some of the species and even the plants on the landscape. So recovering that and maintaining that. And another one is just getting back to our traditions. And not just like the practicing of the ceremonies, but the traditions of like the 7 grandfather teachings and how we're supposed to behave in a philosophical sense. All
right. Question number 4. This one is 3 parts. What is your knowledge when it comes to 1, Robert's Rules of Order, 2, the 7 grandfather teachings, and 3, other traditional nishnabe customs? So first, what is your knowledge when it comes to 1, Robert's Rules of Order?
So I went through a program in high school called Youth in Government. I got to go to the Capitol and actually participate in mock House sessions, mock Senate sessions, that kind of thing. And we even proposed our own bills and went through the whole procedures and we used Robert's Rules of Order. And currently I sit on a few committees and the health board, so we use the Robert's Rules of Order there. I don't necessarily think they're reasonable for us to use in some sense, especially in the committees. It's it's a little bit extra added on top. It feels a little bit like colonization. So.
All right. The second part of that question was the 7 grandfather teachings. What's your knowledge there?
I grew up with all of those like implemented into my life. Loving myself, being respectful of others, being humble, being generous. And like just literally taking care of myself to take care of others, and so that I can give a voice to the voiceless. So.
And what about other traditional Anishinaabe customs?
I'm from Ziba, so like I just grew up hunting, fishing, providing for the family basically, and taking on that role. And and that's such a loaded question because I feel like my whole life is just that, and I don't know how else to explain that to anybody because that's what I am and that's who I am. And when we ask each other these questions, it feels kind of funny. And so,
all right, number 5. What is your opinion on communication, transparency, and accountability within the tribal council?
I mean, it needs to be there, all those things, because again, I'll double back to what I was first saying when this interview first started, is like we need people in there who realize that they're working for the people. They've been selected to work for the people and to make the decisions that not everybody has the experience or the knowledge or maybe the education to handle those kind of problems or situations that may arise. So yeah, we need to be transparent because we're working for the people, and it needs to be just truthful and honest, and there should be nothing to hide. There's no need to hide anything. It's it's our land, these are our resources, and it's our people. So.
All right, you've touched on this one a bit, but asking the questions in order. Number 6, what are your feelings regarding blood quantum?
Yeah, again, I said earlier, it's going to be a problem for me if things don't work out in the perfect way, right? So something needs to be done. Some of those problems need to be addressed, and we already have descendants who live and work here, and they don't receive any kind of benefit, whatever we want to call it, for living and working within the tribe. And there's so many people that I recognize. To me they're tribal, and then I knock on their door for going door-to-door campaigning, and they're like, oh, I'm only a descendant, and like I have the list of all the registered members, but I'm still I want to talk to everybody, and especially if they're not registered to vote, I want to say, hey, you need to express your right to vote. Like, this is your right, it's guaranteed to you. So yeah, blood quantum, it needs to change. We're colonizing ourselves. It's that simple.
Question number 7. What do you think can be done to encourage tribal members who currently reside elsewhere to live within our community?
Can you read that again? Sorry.
What do you think can be done to encourage tribal members who currently reside elsewhere to live within our community?
I think that obviously more opportunity for employment. Some of the people that go away, it's often for education, and those people end up finding jobs that pay them really well, or they find a place where they feel like they fit in and they don't want to leave that. And that's probably not everybody, just some occurrences of some things I've heard, and just more opportunity, more economic opportunity, more opportunity for career. And I think we're doing a great job of expanding those opportunities, but still, I've heard a lot of the youth say, we send our kids away to these institutions to be educated, but we don't make a space for them to come back to. We don't create the opportunity for them to come back to, where somewhere else in the world there is going to be that opportunity for them, and especially if it's something they're passionate about. So just more opportunities in that way. And I don't know what else you can do, because for me, I did leave here. And I felt sick like the whole time I was gone, so I had to come home because of that. And maybe some people out there do feel that feeling already, and if you do come home, it can get better.
All right, question number 8. In your opinion, what can we do to encourage and support our youth to be active in the community?
The youth program's huge. I'll say this over and over again, and I've said it in previous interviews. I went through the youth program for work, and it gave me a sense of purpose. It gave me this feeling that, hey, I can do something for my community that I love to be out here every day, and I don't go home feeling tired, and I get to feel fulfilled. So I think the youth program for works is really big. I think we need some more sports programming, maybe some travel teams. I've talked about this before. I think that's a great idea. Liz and John, I've talked to them quite a bit about some things we can do, and Liz is working on a few really great ideas, like a youth council and that sort of thing, and there's a lot of people participating in those, so no discredit to anybody that I'm not mentioning, sorry. But yeah, a youth council to train in some young leaders, and just to also get them to recognize, like, hey, I have a role inside my community that's important, and I need to uphold that so that other people can understand and see what I'm doing from that aspect of it. Just, hey, my role, this is what I'm supposed to do.
All right, we're on question number 9. What is your opinion on the topic of tribal members living off the reservation in regards to voting and other rights?
Well, voting, I don't necessarily know if I would support off-reservation voting, because the voting that occurs here affects mostly this community, within the reservation, and mostly within Barriere County. I could support, inside Barriere County, if those people live off the res, like, they're right here. They're more than likely working for us. They're already living here within the community, and I think that should be acknowledged at least. But if you're living far, far away, like I'll talk about my own experience. I went to school somewhere else, and when I was done with school, I didn't want to come home, and I didn't know why, and just angry at the world, and I wasn't contributing anything to my community, to my people, I wasn't helping in any way. And if I had the chance to vote on all kinds of different stuff, if I stayed there, and what's the point of that? It's not affecting me directly. I mean, it's not like we're making all kinds of policies to determine, per membership cap or something like that. And it's just not what we do or who we are, And to think about it this way, when somebody dies, we go to their house, we bring them food, we go take care of them, we tend their fires, and you can't do that if you're not here. And it's just that's who we are. It's not about the voting or the money. That's who we are. We take care of each other right here.
All right, question number 10. Which section or sections, if any, of the KBIC Constitution would you like to see changes to? Please explain.
Ooh. Well, the membership part. I couldn't quote the exact, section and number for you, but yeah, that's something I'd have to take a more serious look at and take the time to actually think about. I've done a lot of work with things like Title 10, which is our hunting and fishing code. But yeah, the Constitution, I got the little pocket one and I go through it every once in a while. I think maybe even the age of council ought to be changed. I think it should be lowered. I understand the reasoning behind, a 25 age limit, but I think that the times are changing. The kids are more educated than ever, and they have a better understanding of the world because of their access to the internet. And that's something we need to acknowledge. The landscape's changing, people are changing, the greater nation that surrounds us is rapidly changing, and we need some youthful people that are really going to understand what those changes mean, not only for their lives, but their kids' lives, because when they get to that age, most people are already thinking about those kind of things, whether they understand it or not. You start thinking about family, you start thinking about a career, you start thinking about how you're going to spend your time. So, yeah.
All right, question number 11. Previously, a code of ethics for the Tribal Council was proposed but not enacted. What is your opinion on the Tribal Council being subject to a code of ethics?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I've said it previously, but those people work for us, and we're electing them to work for us. So it's important that we have a set of standards, a set of ethics that we would uphold them to. And if they do violate those ethics or those standards, then, the proper action should be taken, because that's our representation too for the whole community. We have to be able to represent ourselves in a way that is applicable to all people and comfortable for all people, and it equates to positivity, not negativity. So.
All right, then number 12, to end this interview, go ahead and address the voters directly.
Hello, everybody, KBIC citizens. I've been going door to door talking to a lot of you. I'm still going to be out there getting door to door, trying to get around to as many people as I can. I'm going to be around a long time, and I'm already putting in the work, and I'm ready to do more. I'm ready for more responsibility, and I think I'm completely qualified. I think I have all the right experiences. I've been being asked to go out and speak for us, go out and talk to people that aren't like us and trying to explain some of what we do and why we do it. So, there's already some people putting that kind of responsibility on my shoulders, and I'd like to carry that for everyone. So if you can support me, I'll be ever grateful. And just remember that if you do select me to be your tribal council representative, I work for you. I'm going to have an open door policy. I'm sure it's going to be stressful, but this is what needs to be done. And for all the rest of you, the young people out there, if you're watching this, it's time to step up. It's time to put your head down, work harder, and get a clearer vision of what you think the future ought to be like, and then start taking up that leadership role if you're not already. It's time to step up.